All right. Well, my name is Dave, and I'm the sales manager for Method 7, the Grow line of products. Okay. And I say Grow line because we do a product line for pilots as well, because conditions in a cockpit are actually very similar to an HPS Grow room. And our lens technology for the HPS Grow room translates really well to cockpits, and we do put some actual glass in our lenses. So, here's an example of our really sweet aviation glasses. Quick little plug before I start on the Grow World. They're incredible glass lenses, Japanese titanium frames, and if you're a huge Method 7 fan and you fly a plane, then we are for you. But if you just want to wear those aviators out in the world, because they look amazing, then I, welcome you guys to do that as well. We have beautiful ones for men and women, all different size faces and all that. So yeah, so that's a fun part of our company as well, is our pilot side. Again, I cover the Grow side, which is how essentially we got started. So I will kind of briefly touch a little bit about how Method 7 became about and what we do, and then where we're headed, and why it may be important, and of course how it can help you be a better grower, because that is the truth of it. So basically we started roughly 11-ish, 12 years ago, and it kind of all became about because our founder Jeff was a photographer for High Times magazine, and he was going into HPS grow rooms and taking photos for the magazine, and he couldn't achieve a good clear picture, right? It was just super yellow and orangish. Even with the magnetic ballast, you'd get the wavy lines in the photos when you do that. And he was like, what the heck? There has to be a solution to be able to take proper photos in the grow room, because when you take photos, I mean, we've all seen them maybe on the internet now, they don't come out very good. So he set out on, a mission to solve this puzzle. And, he had some sort of knowledge of glass and physiology of, I should say, yeah, of glass, sorry. So he went over to Germany and was able to pull this scientist out of retirement that actually worked in World War II on glass and cockpits for airplanes, ironically. And what happens when you mix like different minerals with molten glass, and then it hardens, and what happens is we put different wavelengths of light through that glass. And after several experiments and trials, they actually came up with a formula with different minerals where when you make the glass melted with the minerals and the light passes through it, it actually can strip away the reds and the yellows and balance the blues and the greens really nice, so you can see exactly what's happening as if you're looking at your plants under normal white light conditions. And this was a pretty big deal. That's kind of how the first HPS lens was born. That's how any grow room glasses was ever invented. And, it was a very exciting thing. So it started out kind of as a journey to find a beautiful photo filter, and then it kind of turned into glasses for protection and color balance, right? So, HPS light does put out UV. It does put out infrared. Ceramic metal halides, of course, put out UVB. And a lot of these LEDs now are very proud to say they put out infrared as well. And there's a lot of, dangerous light basically that's hitting our eyes. So it's important to protect them. And, to stay with the topic of the category, not only is it harmful, but it's very hard to see what's going on in your grow room with this skewed color. So first and foremost, by wearing some of our lenses and being able to see true color and exactly, oh, my plant is actually that green, or oh my gosh, my plant actually has powder mildew in there that I didn't see because it was too hard to see. Like, being able to see your plant with proper color and all the details is essentially what will make you a better grower, right? It's the first step of like, okay, well, if I can see, I can do my job properly. And then start to couple that up with, if my eyes are relaxed and not stressing, and not watering, and I'm not getting headaches, then I also enjoy doing my job, and I enjoy, or hobby or passion, whatever you want to call it. And, it just makes everything that much better for you, including your long-term vision and, eyesight, which is kind of important. So we invented the grow room glasses category with our notch filtering technology. We do still put glass in a lot of our lenses today. That aviation pair I just showed you was a prime example. Here is an example of an HPS lens with glass in it. Not many sunglass companies in the world put glass in their lenses. It's expensive to do and it's time consuming and all that. But we wanted to stay true to our morals and our brand, so we still put glass, our HPS Plus lenses, in the glasses. And then we did team up with Zeiss Optics out of Germany several years ago, and we brought them our glass lens, and they were so impressed with it that they said, you know what, we're willing to work with you guys. Which was a big deal because Zeiss is a leader globally in optics. They do, gun scopes, microscopes, binoculars, telescopes, optometrist machines, you name it. So they worked with us to create a polycarbonate version of our glass lens. So this was a big deal for us. It obviously made things a bit more cost effective, which was nice to start to bring our glasses, to the masses, so to speak. And Zeiss, we still work with Zeiss today on many stuff, and the technology they have and the collaboration of our two brands is just exciting, and we were able to create a lot of really great stuff, and we still are today. Again, it was Zeiss Vision out of Germany. So I kind of touched on, some of the benefits of wearing eye protection. First and foremost, you can see. Sometimes it's just a matter of looking at your plants under HPS light and being like, oh my gosh, I'm only in week 5. These things are way more yellow than I thought. Are they finishing? And then you either turn on a room light, which makes it white, or you put on the glasses and you're like, sigh of relief. Okay. They're not as yellow as I thought. They look great. We can continue. So sometimes it's just as simple as being able to see that, they're not yellow, or, calcium deficiencies can be very tricky to spot with that yellow HPS and so on. So, seeing is imperative to doing your job. You can compare it to welders. Obviously they wear the shield and that thing cuts through so they can see what they're doing, right? Or glass blowers, very similar scenario. So, eye protection is paramount on that sort of thing. I think the grow room world gets overlooked a bit because it's not as painful and loud as a welding machine or a glass blowing machine, but I call it the slow kill, versus the fast direct flame in your face where you're like, okay, I can't begin to do this without those. Well, this is a similar scenario, except it's kind of more over the long haul, and I correlate it to if you're in a room with an engine on, right? So if I had an engine sitting in this room and it's just cranking away, for hours, my brain could handle the sound. But after probably 6 or so hours, I'm going insane inside and I'm not really realizing it because it's just this loud noise. Very similar scenario to our eyes in a grow room. Sure, you can go into an HPS room and work in there for a few hours and your brain can handle it, and your body can handle it. But inside, you're kind of going crazy, So to kind of keep yourself grounded and calm and relaxed, it's another beautiful tool for that. We have our HPS. We obviously covered that. We also make lenses for blurple LEDs, right? So for lack of a better term, the blue, purple, magenta, old school lenses. Many of you have probably seen these. This is a green lens, which perfectly color balances those blurple LEDs. And then we're in this gray era of full spectrum LEDs, which are mostly white, but they do, of course, have a little bit of red diodes in there on some that give it that infrared push, that little, flowering push. And this is one of our newer, few years old, but newer technologies is our FX, which means full spectrum lens. So something to note here is in the corner of all of our lenses, it's obviously backwards in the camera, but you'll see it says M7FX. Every single lens that we do, we put that lens code right in the upper corner. So if you're ever wondering oh man, what spectrum is this for? In a perfect world, you're able to look right at the lens and see FX stands for full spectrum, or HPS, it'll say up there, and then know that that's the spectrum, for your light. So this full spectrum lens has been great. It does do a slight color balance, but if anyone's worked under full spectrum lights, they know that white light is actually pretty nice color. So beyond, the slight color balance, it's more about protection under those lights, because those diodes of those LEDs are brutal. Like, whether you're, just bopping in a room for a minute or you're working in there for hours, if you look at those and then move your eye, I mean, it's, spot upon spot upon spot. So it's not fun, really not fun to work. A lot of people get headaches under those. It's disorienting. I mean, there's a whole new world of challenges that come with these full spectrum LEDs. So we set out to design the perfect lens that is not going to be too light, where it doesn't do anything, but it's not going to be too dark, where when you're working there, you constantly got to go like this to see into your canopy. And this is where, a traditional sunglass can go wrong for you, because they can be very dark, where it's like, oh, it kind of works to cut the diodes, but when push comes to shove, it's very hard to actually get into my canopy and comfortably work there. And a lot of traditional sunglasses kind of do like a red or iced tea-ish kind of vibe, which, to touch back on HPS for a moment, why can't I just wear my regular sunglasses in an HPS room? Well, you can, and there will be protection, but generally regular traditional sunglasses, like I said, are adding a little bit of red. So you're putting red on top of red in an HPS room, and it's just too much at that point. So that's where, again, our blue lens under that is just beautiful. To bring it full circle back to full spectrum, this lens allows our eye to do what it naturally wants to do. So our pupil can, open up or close to let in just the right amount of light, very similar to the way that when you go to bed at night, or, back in the days of more old school alarm clocks, you'd lay down at night and, first it's pitch black, right? And then after maybe about 30 seconds to a minute, that little light from the alarm clock, all of a sudden you can see the entire bedroom. Very similar kind of way. Our eye is doing what it should do, right? So very similar process takes place with this glass, this lens. It's just the perfect balance where you first go in, once your eye adjusts, it's like literally after 5-10 minutes, I forget I'm even wearing the lens in the room, because it's so clear and so just comfortable, for being able to cut the diodes out, but still have that nice bright vision under the lights to see what's going on. And then on top of that, this coating, this beautiful coating that you're seeing, is an infrared coating. There's really, we don't know any, to be honest, polycarbonate lenses in the world that have an infrared coating. So that means it's absorbing any infrared heat that could hit your eye, which in our labs, long-term exposure to infrared heat on the eye is damaging to the eye long-term. So we try to stop it, which short-term creates a more moist and comfortable eye. And then also we put what we call kind of our perps on the inside, which is an anti-reflective coating. So meaning when the light hits the back of the lens, it's not going to reflect back in your eye and cause an annoyance. That can also cause eye damage as well. This is the proper lens for ceramic metal halide lights, because of course that spectrum is very similar to many of these 4K LEDs. So that reflection of ceramic metal halide UVB hitting the back and possibly going into your eye, even on a tight wrap, that can cause legit eye damage, right? I mean, UVB is what's in tanning beds. It's what tans our skin. Very harmful to the eyes as well. So, you want to go with kind of the ultimate level of protection. So we really tried to layer this lens, literally, with coatings. And, again, it's a Zeiss lens. It's asymmetrically tuned to the eye, which means that if, you were to shoot a laser through this lens, it perfectly focuses on your eye, versus if you shoot a laser through a cheap pair of grow glasses or sunglasses, it kind of looks like a dirty shower head. The laser head goes in multiple directions, which means your eye is now chasing an image, trying to focus, which causes fatigue, which causes headache, which causes exhaustion. And this all is just the slow process of being like, oh man, I have these whatever cheap ones, but they're not that fun to wear, So, it's the difference of wearing something and forgetting you're wearing a lens and just having it be the right tool, to wearing something and like having it actually cause you pain by the end of it, So that's one thing that easily sets Method 7 apart from kind of a cheap knockoff competitor. In case you're wondering what this beautiful model is currently, this is called the Citadel. It's kind of unreleased, but Biofloral is taking on the soft launch here in Canada. Great partner of ours. Obviously, they're doing a great job here, and a lot of love for them. So Biofloral will be distributing the Citadel model. It's available in the FX and the HPS lens. A little plug to them. We called it the Citadel, just so you know, because it does pass ANSI Z87 Plus high impact safety testing. So, if there was ever an accident, a projectile, you bend over and hit your eye on a stake or something in the room, these lenses are legit safety specs, and you'll be protected in the case of an accident. When we do this testing, we actually do get it tested through a third-party lab named Colts Labs. We're very proud of our safety division, and we're ramping that up as we move through the years here. But here's an example of an actual safety test. This is for our cultivator model, which, kind of just goes through, and it says, the lab that did it, and then it'll say pass, and then it has kind of all the technical jargon. You can't really see on the camera, but it tells the haze, the distortion, any little thing you would want to know, and then some about what's going on with the glasses, and they test all sorts of different, you'll see pass, 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 down the line, all sorts of different things. So we always provide this documentation to any LP, to any, if a home grower wants it, that's great. To hydro stores, we're very transparent about when we say a product passes safety, like, here's the test. Keep it on your records if you're an LP, or, at least you can see with your own eyes that we're not kind of BSing you. So safety is very important for us. A couple other touch points for us. We do make beautiful outdoor grow room glasses as well, or grow glasses as well for the sun. Let's see if I have one here. No, that's not one there. Well, I don't have one in my rack currently, but what makes our sun lenses unique, and this applies to our theme of, becoming a better grower, right? So even for your outdoor grower, our sun lens is the Zeiss lens, and it honors the full color spectrum of light, right? So again, where a lot of sunglasses just put a really dark hue over it, or iced tea, whatever you want to call it, ours, you can look at your plants on an outdoor setting and you can still see the full color spectrum evenly, so you can still assess what's going on with your plants. We put the AR coating on the back side, which a lot of our sun lenses are kind of this flat Wayfair style, so there's a lot more real estate for the sun to hit this. So it eats up any reflectivity, being out in the sun for long hours working on your plants. And then it's also a beautiful Zeiss lens. So it is a very, very quality lens. We also slightly polarize it. We call it our Light Pro technology. And what that is, it's a special polarization by Zeiss that still allows you to see smartphones and tablets without the rainbow lines in the screen. But we polarize it because there could be sometimes a glare off a canopy, so it reduces the glare off any canopy or anything outside. A lot of people like the little bit of polarization. So that's what's unique about our sun lenses. We're very proud of those lenses as well. We've covered a lot here, as far as how to clean them or take care of them. That's always a big question amongst people. Obviously, these glasses get covered in resin and stuff like that. And, what we recommend for that is first and foremost, just hot water, if it can do most of it. Everything comes with like a different pouch. We have all sorts of fun pouches. Another great tool for cleaning glasses is coconut oil. So a lot of people use that on Fiskars when they're trimming, but, put some coconut oil on there, let it kind of sit there for, 30 seconds or so, and gently rub it with your fingers, and then use the pouch, and that coconut oil breaks up the resin really nice. Then rinse it under some hot water, use the pouch to dry it. That should get most of your resin off. And the beauty about coconut oil when cleaning the glasses is that it doesn't strip off the coatings, right? We have all these beautiful coatings that we've covered. So, for example, rubbing alcohol is not going to be the go-to for cleaning your resinous glasses because that can strip off the coatings. So you don't want to do rubbing alcohol. Also, a little bit of dish soap works really well without, again, a little bit with the fingers. And those are kind of your go-tos, is your coconut oil, your dish soap. And then you want to stay away from rubbing alcohol. You want to stay away from vinegar. And, use the microfiber pouch versus like a t-shirt or a towel to avoid any sort of scratching or anything like that. So that's kind of touching on a lot here. I'll ask if anyone has a question at this point that maybe I didn't cover. You feel free to type it in the chat. I can see that window just fine if maybe someone has a question or an idea for a product. Speaking of idea for a product, I did want to touch on our cell phone filter called the Catalyst. This is a newer product that was in high demand, and it clips right over your smartphone. Here's my phone with a case. This one, you'd cover the camera that you're trying to, take the photo with, whether that's wide angle, macro, super wide, or whatever. It works on, this is the 12 Pro Max. It works on this one. You just got to cover the respective camera. Very fun product, not too expensive. Again, our Zeiss lens is in this product. We use our same beautiful Zeiss lens that you see in our glasses. Again, BioFluoro also has picked them up for this convention, and they're going to be selling them permanently moving forward. So that's exciting. And the reason it's called the Catalyst is because we're in the age of everyone wanting to share their grow room photos. So you pop this puppy on, take a sweet picture of your room, share it on Instagram, and that Catalyst sparks a lot of reactions if you're taking a good photo online. So it's just kind of a fun name and product there. Everyone needs it. I see that there. I appreciate your comment. That's great. Again, BioFluoro should have it in the catalog. I think they're literally working on it right now. So hang tight. It'll be available in the next couple days from them at most. So I appreciate that. And then we do make it for the Blurple LED, this green lens, and then for the HPS. Total transparency, unless someone can prove me wrong, we haven't really found a reason to make it for full spectrum LEDs, just because we feel that, the photos come out really well under white LEDs. And, to be perfectly honest, we haven't really found a reason to, make something that just we don't feel is doing this dramatic effect. Now, of course, under those full spectrum LEDs and CMH, eye protection is paramount. So the glasses is great, but we haven't done the full spectrum LED one. We just do the HPS and the Blurple because those photos are a nightmare without a filter. Sorry if you've been doing them this whole time without it, but it's time to up your game. I'll kind of, we're at just about at time. I appreciate you guys spending the dinner session with me if you're on the East Coast, a little late night, or if you're on the West Coast, a little bit late afternoon. Feel free to pop a question here in the chat. I appreciate the love. Everyone's saying another great product. We constantly are pushing ourselves to do more and more and more, so just keep your eyes open. BioFluoro is about to literally pick up a few more sweet products, unreleased products, so they're going to be your go-to for just easeability. My favorite frame, someone's asking. That's a great question. I love the Evolution. It's a flat frame. I love the Evolution. And honestly, the Citadel is like right there for me these days. The Citadel is cool because it's kind of a hybrid. It's not quite a wrap or a flat. It's kind of a hybrid of a flat wrap. So technically in sunglass world, the term is base 6 and base 8. And this is kind of right in the middle of the two. So it kind of caters to if you're someone that likes a wrapped frame or a flat frame. This has best of both worlds. The other thing I want to say about this FX lens, it is a beautiful lens to wear outside. Our HPS lens can be worn outside, but it can be a little bit blue. So just prepare for that. But this FX lens outside is like money. It's just a very nice, comfortable color. It's stylish, and it's just a really great lens to wear outside. So, full spectrum LED, CMH, whatever. You can wear them in your grow and you can wear them outside, and they're great for any sport or just life. So just something to kind of bear in mind, everybody. Well, I super appreciate everyone's time and the love. I don't know the full time of this tonight's session, but I'll probably kick over to my Method 7 showroom. If you go to the lobby and then showrooms in the upper corner there, I'll be over there just hanging out for at least another 15, 20 minutes here to maybe answer some questions or anything anyone may want to talk about that they didn't get a chance to talk about here in this lab. So thank you guys. This is a really great event. I love the platform. It's been very fun. So it's been great to see everyone's faces, and yeah, I appreciate your time. Feel free to come over to the showroom, Method 7 showroom, to say what up. All right. Cheers, y'all.